Hey everyone, it's Andrea. How are you? It's a gorgeous day in LA. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Today we are going to talk about some game-changing tips to take socially awkward situations and make them better and hopefully make it a win-win of an evening for you or an event or a day or whatever. I'm a pretty outgoing person, obviously, but it's interesting. I get invited to a lot of functions, say by a client or something, where everybody there knows everybody else and I don't know anyone. And so even as outgoing as I am, it's tough. These social situations can be really tough. And recently, one of my clients had to actually go on a trip with a group of people, and she's completely freaked out about it because she kind of knows people, but they all really know each other, and she doesn't really, and this is a big thing. It's extremely stressful for people, social situations. And if they're a business situation, it's a little bit easier because you do your homework, you know why you're going, and you pretty much make a list of people you definitely want to see. You know what you want to ask, you know what the connection between your businesses is, or what you're trying to get out of that. But a social situation is kind of more like, we're all just here. So here are some tips to try to make those awkward situations actually super successful and for you to feel like you can relax and have a good time and be yourself. So number one, just like if it's a business function, go in with a mission. Before you even go, why are you going there? And it's usually because the host is having some sort of a thing and you're showing up for them. It's going to make them feel good. Great. But what are you going to necessarily get out of it if you don't know anyone? Well, go and determine you want to learn something, whatever it is. Like you want to find out about a new workout. People are always trying different workouts. Hey, tell them about the And Life app, or say you're just determined there's somebody at this party that knows how to cook fish. It took me forever to learn to do that until somebody at a party told me, something like that, anything. The other thing is that current events, even if just kind of know something about current events going on. And if you don't know, it's okay to say, hey, I've been working a lot. I've been living under a rock recently. What's going on with that? If you hear people talking about it, or, oh, I want to know. People will bring you into the conversation. People love to be in the know, and asking questions really is the key. So number one, if you don't know what to do, ask the host for help. That's what they're there for, unless they're really, really sucky hosts, which does happen sometimes. But then you could specifically go to the host and say, look, do you know anybody that knows how to do X, Y, or Z, or that's really into working out, or that's whatever, because I need something else to do, and somebody's got to have an idea at this party. And they'll make that connection for you, and they will help, and you'll be off to the races. Okay, B. People are not leaving you out. It can feel that way. They're not. And thinking that just perpetuates your own misery. You have to realize people want to connect. They genuinely do. They just don't know how to start the conversation either. And so they just glom on to the other people they know, and then they have these boring conversations about stuff they already know about. Look, everybody there is dying to have an interesting conversation with anyone else, really. It's true. So you help them out by being able to ask them questions, by having that kind of prepared in your head. Do you know who's there? Do you know anybody that this host knows that you could say, make a connection? When the easiest way to do that is, hey, how do you know the host? You're standing there waiting at the bar to get a drink, or you're making a drink, or you're at a buffet. And that's one of the easiest ways, obviously. Another really, really easy thing to do is just give a compliment. You're just standing next to somebody. You have great hair. Oh my God, your eyes, wow. Like, people tell you that all the time, I guess, blah, blah, blah. It'll just start the ball rolling. It never, ever, ever fails to give a compliment to get a conversation going. So now, from improv, there is a conversational rule called yes and. So this is Art of Conversation 101. You're talking to somebody, this conversation is sort of starting, It's anything that's offered to you, you say yes and you add something to it. Never negate, never, even if the answer is no for you, find where the conversation can go. Find the and, find where it can move to. You never want to just, like, you know, do you like sushi? No. Okay, where can anybody go from there? No, but what I do like is blah. Or, you know, when people talk to me about something like that, I tell them, for me, it's like feeling like, you know, I'm going on Survivor. Sushi for me is really just, unless I'm like winning reward for my team or I'm gonna get an idol for it or something, I'm not doing that. Like, it's just not happening. It's a textural issue. That becomes a conversation. People find it interesting. Thanks, guys. My kids are here. I'm just trying to get this done. Okay, there's Rocky. Okay. Look, and the other thing is that pass the ball back. So in a conversation, there is the rule of pass the ball. So make your contribution 3 to 5 sentences. That's it. Don't get into paragraphs, and pass the ball. My daughter is doing cartwheels behind me. Oh my God, you guys. I'm really trying to help people. I'm talking about something really important. You're really, really good at this. You don't have it. My daughter is amazing at talking to anyone about anything all the time, but not everybody here is. So let me just tell them and then I'll come play, okay? So seriously, so 3 to 5 sentences, pass the ball back, keep the conversation going. Do not get into paragraphs. If you get off on a tangent, just pass the ball. If you don't even know what's happening, just pass the ball. And if you don't know how to do that, question or a compliment. There you go. Okay, here's your bailout. 1, skip the conversation about kids or something like that, or if you're not even that age, this works for everybody. Find a way to talk about your own childhood. Your childhood and their childhood are interesting. There will always be a point of communion about that, especially if you grew up around the same time. 2, pets. Talk about pets. You could start with the host's pet, and then it gets into, if there is a pet to go pet, they don't call them rescue pets for nothing. I was rescued by a pet at actually a business function recently. Thank God somebody came with a dog and I could go pet the dog, and then it became a conversation about the dog, and then that happened to actually be one of the most informative business people I talked to at that function all night, but thank God for the dog. And then the last thing is shoes. I advise you to have 2 pairs of social shoes at least. 1 black and 1 a neutral color. Buy the best shoes you can buy. You're not going to wear them out. You're only going to wear them to your social occasions, but make them a step above safe and something interesting, but not, hey, I'm a pair of shoes. Unless you can pull off funky. Funky does not fly on me. Nobody's buying it. But if you can pull that off, great. Then shoes are an amazing conversation starter. People always comment on each other's shoes. And this goes for men and women. Men, you can find these like awesome technical shoes, these athletic shoes in great colors and styles now. So, you know, when in doubt, definitely go to a social function where you don't know anyone wearing great shoes. Not only does it feel good to be grounded in something that makes you feel fabulous, but there is absolutely somebody that's going to mention it. It happens every time. Okay, so those are my tips. I hope they help.